Back in the W124. Purring into life after 2 weeks of chilling in the garage while I was working. I have been away with another car. As I might have mentioned in another video, I did buy something. Ciao. I did buy another Mercedes. And I'm so excited to show you guys the car. I will make another video on that coming up soon on the channel. It's more modern than this, it's newer, and I've been driving it for yesterday exactly 1 week. 1 week of being able to reminisce about a newer Mercedes, about a car that has evolved, a car that has grown, a car that has become more sophisticated, more modern, more technologically advanced. And today I parked that car and I drove again in my Mercedes W124. And I swear to you, from the very first moment that I let the clutch come out, I could feel that it was a completely different piece of engineering. It was just so much more wholesome, so smooth, so effortless, so incredibly nice to drive. I don't know how they made it, that this car still feels so intricately new after so many years. Things that generally fade on a car after a long time. Steering feel becomes wobbly and disconnected. The pedals are odd. Your brake feel, your clutch feel, your acceleration input, all of these things tend to just change a little bit. It's not that they're broken, but they take on a different character. In this car, it feels beautifully engineered and fits perfectly. I don't know how to transmute it more than that. It just does. In every other car, I'd have my hands on the steering wheel like this all the time. It's important, it's safe and whatnot. But in the 124, it's just so relaxed, man. It's just such a cruiser. This car is just the package. I was a bit weary of getting out of the new one and getting back into this and thinking, but it's completely the opposite that happened. I got back into this and life just happened. It just connected with me. And it was funny because I made a video on it. I'm not sure if I'm going to upload it because it was just really trying to film the drive from my house to the location and completely took the wrong road, but I ended up on the Autobahn. And then at some stage there was an open stretch of road, so I thought, you know what, let's just see. The oil is right, the temperature's right, everything's right. Let's just squeeze and see where she goes. I didn't force it, but I put my foot down and she ran up to just over 180 kilometers per hour. And I swear to you, the needle was marching onwards like there was no tomorrow. 180, just over 180. Wow, baby. You are incredible. Without a shadow of a doubt in my heart, this car will clock 200. No problem whatsoever. It felt smooth, refined. It did it with finesse and integrity. It was not all over the place. It was a fantastic, fantastic drive and a great feeling. I don't actually want to take up to such high speeds because of the high RPMs. We were at about 5,000 RPM. And you might think that that's a crazy number, and it is. For any car, 5,000 RPMs I feel is like, whoa, except for supercars or VTECs. But for an old lady like this, I was just like, that's not where I want to go with it. But Mercedes engineered these cars so that they can sit and cruise on the Autobahn at 180 kilometers per hour for hours. that's one of the statements that they made. And so, in a sense, they were made for that. In a sense, it's not a problem for the engine to be sitting at those RPMs. But nevertheless, the 4-speed's going out, the 5-speed is coming in the next year, in the beginning of 2026. And I'm excited about that, because where is it coming from? It's coming from my, unfortunately, accident write-off 124 that I had before this one, the silver one. Very beautiful car. Oh, my heart is broken. But the engine is completely fine. It was a 230 exactly like this one, and it had the 5-speed gearbox. And the difference between the two and the RPMs, that's really what I want to go to. Having another gear would be the cream of the cake here. No other car in the world I would sit and drive with my arms straight out. Everybody knows they need to be out at an angle. You need to be able to straighten and put your palm on the steering wheel like this. This is not how you do it. But I don't care. This is my Benz. It's just so nice in here. So nice. And nothing of this car elicits that sort of boy racer in you that you want to crank it and throw it around. At least not anymore. It's just such a lovely car. There are a couple of small things that haven't been to my liking with this car, and I'm going to mention them to you guys, hoping that you might have some answers. One of the things is that this car is not driving as straight and as quietly or in track as my previous W124. It just feels like it's swimming a little bit. It's not that it seems like it's pulling to the right or to the left. It's just that it's like it's a little bit indecisive and like very haphazard, very ad hoc. It would just pull to the left or to the right or veer a little bit. And I wasn't quite sure what to make out of that, whether it had had an accident and maybe I didn't know about it or whatever the case might be. However, two people, one of them being an old-timer restorer, told me that he could even see that the camber of my front wheels are out. My question to you, does the camber not being proper and the alignment not being properly done in the front actually elicit a sort of swimming feel with the car when you're driving on a highway? The second thing is that the fact that it's so high up in the front. This car has had a completely replaced front suspension by Mercedes-Benz. I don't know why, but the first owner still did that. And the oldtimer restorer guy said to me that he believes that they put the suspension in and then fitted everything and aligned everything when the car was not standing on its own weight. And that's apparently imperative because subsequently now the car's been lowered after everything's been installed and the ride height isn't correct. Don't know? Any thoughts? Please let me know. Also, in one of my YouTube shorts, check that out. It's the black station wagon, the T model. On one of in that video, you can see that it's standing exactly with its nose high up, and I can't figure out why, because I went and checked and the boot was empty. So the steering wheel does not have a shudder at all. It doesn't vibrate, nothing. It's totally fine. It's just that it sort of pulls. There's no play on the steering wheel whatsoever, as we know from the W124. 124 things I didn't know about my car. There is an automatically adjusting system on the power steering pump so that you don't, on the power steering unit, so that you don't have that sort of wobbly steering feel. Then the other thing, my heater. If I put the heater on, sometimes it'll work, sometimes it won't. It'll just do what it wants to. And there's a weird feeling, a weird sound, like a blubbering sound, a little bit akin to if you had a bottle of water that's only halfway full and you would turn it around and it'd go like blub, 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 back and forth. Well, that's kind of what's happening. That sound happens up front here. Now, it doesn't change anything on my engine temperature, on the coolant temperature here. It's just that it's sort of like very haphazardly does its own thing. Now the old-timer guy said to me that the valves at the front, right in front of where the battery is, there are two valves, two round little housings, and in there's a valve, and that valve is dry. The rubber is dry, and because of that, it's not opening and closing properly the way it should. It does it a little bit with a mind of its own, and that's the reason. If you have any advice or on how to clean that or service that unit, please feel free to let me know. The next thing, the doors. When I got this car, funny enough, the doors weren't closing in the throbbing Mercedes-Benz fashion that we know. It was more like trying to be a G-Class, but you had to really smack the doors like crazy. And it was annoying and it felt terrible because we love the car and it feels horrid banging the doors like that. It shouldn't be the case, especially since I know that the previous 124 didn't do that. So what I thought to do was to adjust the, can I call them sprockets, the rings from which you can actually hang the car, to adjust those ever so slightly so they are not so deep into the well of the door, but rather a little bit closer. And it worked fantastically. All four of my doors now close super lightly. But here's the catch. Because it's more moved towards the outside, there goes the camera again, because it's more moved towards the outside, they seem to not be shutting that properly when it comes to cold weather, windy weather, driving on the highway. If you have any tips on what I can do there, then please do let me know. How do you properly align the doors on your W124? Then another thing, on the B-pillars, the material is coming off the door innards of the B-pillar itself. Just a thin material. Seems like the glue's not doing its thing. What could I best use to fix that and to glue it back? Then oil usage. This car, nearly 5,000 kilometers. It hasn't even used half a pint of oil. Let me know if you guys have a similar experience. This is the 230E, the 136 horsepower engine, the M102 I believe it is. There's nothing else wrong with the car. There's the other thing. When I apply the brakes, the car seems to be having this like whoa, 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 as it comes to a halt. I believe my discs need to be replaced. Just confirm that if that's the case. I do have new discs and I do have new pads for the front brakes. That's pretty much definitely coming from the front, isn't it? Wow, is it warm. The 9th of December. Look at this weather. It's incredible. Hallelujah. Nearly 600 kilometers, 597 kilometers, just under my reserve, my quarter tank line. That's for the 4-speed. Let me know how you guys do with fuel consumption. I don't want to put the window wash on now because it just completely smears. I think I need to change the blade. But my window washing system, the pipe that goes from the front to the side and then towards the reservoir, obviously has a bend right here in the corner. Now the material from the pipe has, I don't know if it's age or if they've replaced it and it's just not good quality, but it connects, it actually closes. So no water actually comes here towards the front. If you have any tip on how I can rectify that, do I need to buy an entirely new pipe, or should I put some sort of a harder fitting as an angle in there? What would be the best solution? Has anybody had similar experiences? Other than that, I really can't complain about this car. I really can't. There's just nothing to complain about. Anything that's lasted 35 years that isn't human in a rock is worth some substantial praise. It just is such a bloody good car. And it's going to be interesting doing a review on the other Mercedes that I bought because it is newer. It's completely different. You can't really compare apples and pears. This is slower. This uses more fuel. This is older. It has not even half of the luxuries that the other one has. And I don't really care at all. It's just so bloody good. And 136 horsepower, this feels proper enough. Really it does. Let's just enjoy a little drive, shall we? can I just ask, if you guys haven't subscribed yet, if you're watching this video and you haven't subscribed and you enjoy this kind of content, I'd really appreciate if you subscribe to the channel, and it'll mean a lot to me because it helps the channel grow, and the bigger the channel grows, the more possibilities I have just to expand the creativity, and I'd really appreciate that. Whoop, whoop, whoop. There goes the radio cover. Oh, here's another lovely little thing. She got a little, in between the sun visors, a little sun visor. Mercedes Benz. How amazing is that? I just love this thing, man. It's so smooth. It's just so smooth. It's the freaking smoothest car I have ever owned in my life. With the best turning circle for such a size as well. Thanks for joining me. I'm gonna go get a sandwich and a cup of coffee. Ciao.